Let me begin by saying a big thank you and big congratulations to StepOne. I recall the days when the Dr. Bajaj and Dr. Raghavendra Prasad, and I do not know whether Lalit you also came, but you came and visited me in Puducherry with this proposal of your StepOne, saying how can Puducherry be integrated. I'm so grateful that you came at a very, very critical time. So cannot thank you enough for what you've done for the country and for Puducherry at that time. It's very remarkable, as the Honorable Chief Minister has also already mentioned, the dimensions and the kind of quantity of contribution StepOne has made. I personally also benefited. My NGOs have also benefited from Dr. Bajaj and Raghavendra Prasad's interventions. I'm personally grateful, and let me thank you on behalf of we, the people of India, I individually, collectively, and even my not-for-profit organizations, the Navjyoti India Foundation and the India Vision Foundation. So from the gratitude, what I've heard so far, I just wanted to say that I was hearing your prior proceedings. If I would move on to, I believe you have a role to play. You have now you have created a position where now you can play a transformative role. A role which is long-term. You've provided present answers. You've given new answers. You've given systems of response right now, and also preparatory for the third wave to an extent. But I think we are now looking for years ahead, because health is, I think, the challenge number one for mankind today, not only for India, but for mankind as a whole, humanity as a whole. As it said, if you have health, you have wealth. But if you have wealth, you may or may not have health. But if you have health, you will have wealth, because you will use your hands and skills. But if you have no health, even national economy is dependent on the national health. So therefore, health is India's and world's number one priority. So therefore, we owe it a duty to this country to put a system in place. There is no doubt that we've had a broken down system in the past. We've had a system where a Medical Council of India chiefs went to prisons. It's a fact. We've had a Medical Council of India which was ridden with scams and corruption. We've had a system. All members were not there, but the fact is, we were reading in the newspapers what was happening to then individuals, not as an organization, but to individuals in the Medical Council of India. Therefore, there is a lot of things, a lot of legacy to be cleaned up. By the way, I've had a word with the member, an honorable member of the National Medical Commission yesterday in preparatory to connecting with you. And I thought I could check with them how they're doing, what is their future plan ahead. And I'm very happy to say that they are into cleaning of the organ stables right now. He informed me that they are cleaning up the organ stables of what was left behind and putting a system in place. So taking over from that, and I've also tracked how you all celebrated the Doctors' Day. I've tracked what Honorable Chief Justice of India said. I've also tracked what the Honorable Prime Minister said on Doctors' Day. I've also kept track of what the Niti Aayog has said. So tracking from these three, and I've also now heard the preceding speakers. Can I now give you a few points where I think the StepOne role needs to be stepped up? You need to step up your roles. And here are my 5 points in the given time you've given me. I'll not expand them, but I would urge you that StepOne to take these as strategies to be now taken up. That is, I think, your role. You put a human resource package of 10,000 doctors together. Then you've done 15,000 students together. You brought languages together. You brought phone call. Well, the point is here, 10,000 has to cover everybody. The number must multiply. Similarly, students' number should multiply. Every student should be a volunteer. Every medical student needs to be a volunteer. Every medical doctor, government or private, needs to be a volunteer. This is so that means you can create volunteering units in rural areas and in tier 2 cities particularly, and tier 1 people are accessible. But rural areas, backward areas, tribal areas, far-flung areas, marginalized areas, and in the tier 2. Here are my 5 points, if you may care to make a note. Here's my little homework for step 1 to step up for a long-term vision. And number 1 is work closely with the National Health Mission. This is my 1. Please engage with them, not only in emailing, but in engaging with the chairman and the 30-member commission, whatever the commission is all of them, because I find them now very well-meaning, and they are assuring you of transparency and total integrity. Now, once an organization assures you of transparency, integrity, the onus now is on us to engage with them. So number 1, engage with them. Secondly, take forward where Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Chief Justice, and the Niti Aayog and others have been saying. And what are they saying? Few things. Number 1, capacity building. How do you have capacity building? Which means the partnership between the private sector and the public sector in the fee structure, in the curriculums, and in volunteerism. So capacity building, that means I'm not saying how, it's a what, it's a goal. Now, how do we do? Because capacity building has been asked for, and major hospitals have the capacity to become private hospitals. How do they become? And not only doctors, but the entire medical nursing and the paramedics. Number 1, capacity building. That means step 1 should put up a step 1 proposal of capacity building concerning private and public partnership. It covers admissions, it covers curriculum, it covers participation, it covers volunteerism, it covers even the preparing children for Niti Aayog, the NEET program. I've seen certain states, including Puducherry, I've mostly seen children clamoring for education for NEET, preparation for the NEET test, and they don't have that. So I think those children, and the language, if they don't have the language, they don't have English, what do they do? So in vernaculars, how do you prepare children for NEET? So this is one capacity building. Secondly is, I think there's a case made out for National Health Mission to be brought at par like the Election Commission, where it gets a constitutional status, where it's sturdy, and it's sustainable, and it's strong, and it's secure, and it's independent, and it's insulated. You see, I'm using very strong words. Insulation is very, very important. You need to bring now National Health Mission at par with the Election Commission. So you have a health mission which has a constitutional status, not a recommendatory body, but a constitutional status. So Raghu, I know you're nodding your head. I'm so glad that you're listening to me carefully. So therefore is at par. So that means you need to put a team together which makes out a proposal for the government of the day, and you have the Chief Justice expressing this. He's talking about capacity building. Now that he's made a statement, let's translate that into action. Capacity building, Honorable Prime Minister said, let's translate that into action. That means you go back with proposals and engage them. You send emails to them, ask for appointments, and go and meet them, maintaining social distance. So engage them virtually and engage them personally as things improve. Third is, also you need to ask for an institution of group of scientists for scientific reviews. Very, very important is scientific reviews by consensus. That means you have team of experts constantly doing peer reviews. So you need a body for peer reviews. It's revealed in COVID and the vaccination processes. These are the areas for improvement. Fourth is also, may I urge you, make out a case and take on board legal experts, Sachin, is to have state health also on the concurrent list. While the states remain responsible for healthcare, we've all seen, and remember, you have health secretaries and health secretaries. You have brilliant health secretaries, and you also have health secretaries who better had not been there. So you got both kinds of bureaucrats. You got outstanding bureaucrats who drive the change, and we've seen states which did drive the change. We've also seen places where it would have been better if that health secretary had not been there, and we would have probably been in a better position. I'm not mentioning any negativity or positivity. I'm saying put it on concurrent list so that not only disaster management, the Home Secretary and the Government of India can intervene, you can intervene on a regular basis. So I think it's a case. That means you will need to engage with the best of the legal minds to do gratis for you. And how do we make it? And maybe you can take it to these are issues now. Look, I'm suggesting you systemic changes, which will go back to our grandchildren. And they will owe it to step one for having stepped up. So this is concurrent list. Secondly is, please, let's find a way so that Ayushman Bharat covers every Indian, every citizen, migrant or not migrant. Every citizen gets the Ayushman Bharat. It is at the moment spreading, but digitization of medical records is very, very vital. I've seen many are hesitant in entering into the digitization for whatever reasons. So I think, and digital is also a Government of India plan. So therefore, help strengthen the hands of the government to carry forward this as a medical community. Ayushman Bharat and digitization of records and everybody coming on one digital platform. And lastly, and not the least, don't resist it, integrate the Indian medical system in yours. And that's what the Prime Minister said. And that's what the National Health Mission is working towards. How do they integrate the Indian medicine system? And there are Indian medicine systems which do play a role. I'm myself a beneficiary of the acupuncture. Believe me, I lost my voice. I lost my voice at a particular time. And nothing, it was taking time. And they said, everybody said, it needs voice rest. Now that was not a time for a voice rest. What do? I cannot shut up. I have to communicate. And thanks to me, Dr. Raman Kapoor is one. Dr. Raman Kapoor and his wife, Sunita Kapoor. She both, gave me my voice within 2 days. Only by acupuncture. How they said diverted the energy without any medicines of the kind. Of course, I took my medicines as my doctor prescribed. I took that also. But I also did a voice rest. But within 2 days, it was a miracle for me that I got my voice back and I could perform my duties as were essential at that time. So acupuncture, acupressure, and all other internal medicines, which we got expertise in this country, allow people a choice. Allow people a choice. So while they go, so I think medical profession should allow people a choice. And then nobody better than our Honorable Prime Minister who said, promote right nutrition, promote right yoga practices for the patient, promote that. So that I've seen a doctor said, no, you can have so much of this food, you can have so much of this liquid, but as long as you keep this. Look, the man is suffering from such and such position. And he says, okay, because he doesn't want to lose his patient. He doesn't want to lose his patient. And he continues to prescribe, even if it's in moderation. Some things are never done in moderation. It happens, it happens. So doctor has to be very firm and clear on the preventive health aspect, which is maintaining good health. So doctors, I would just do a quick sum up. I'm looking at capacity building team for you as a step one, election commission status. Third is the asking for a scientific group reviews. First of all, I'd ask you to engage proactively with the National Health Mission because they're asking for it. So don't wait. And then health on the concurrent list. If it comes, the sooner the better. Don't wait for Disaster Management Act, which is only reactive, right? Which comes at the crisis time. No, we want to prevent crisis so that state center can closely work out. Ayushman Bharat for all, which is a national scheme, but all states must, because it's a health subject, some states are fast and some states are slow. Whereas if it was a concurrent list, you would have had it by now for everybody. They would have provided the monies, etc., etc. And then the integrated cooperative management system. And I also talked about in the capacity building, vernacular for NEET, so that our children of other areas, which are not as much of good in English, we could have doctors from regional areas. We could have children, boys and youth. I'm coming from Punjab, let's say the deep of the Northeast or elsewhere, whatever tribal areas, etc. I thought I want to thank Sachin that you invited me, even though it was a very short notice, Raghwinder, you also and your entire team of Jatin and other. As I mentioned to Sachin, look, I was only 6 years old when my father was hit by a very heavy accident from behind. I was only 6 years old. My sister was 4, and we were 3 girls. We were 4 later. But Daddy was hit by a jeep, and the jeep ran away, leaving him bleeding. And he was, I think, breathing his last. Good citizens, Samaritans, picked him up and to call the jeep back, saying, "Where are you running away? How can you leave him on the road like that?" And they called the jeep back, saying, "Isko hospital leke jao." Said, my daddy was driven to the nearby VJ hospital in Amritsar. And I remember when we were little children, how my mother ran on the road when she heard the message from the daddy's in hospital. It was a Sunday, and Papa was on a motorcycle, Royal Enfield he had at that time, and he was hit by a jeep from behind. When he was in the hospital, I still remember his face as a 6-year-old. It was all full of stitches at that, stitches already. And what happened? My father was in the hospital, and the doctor, and his first thing he told the hospital that Dr. Mohan Singh, he's my tennis friend. He was a tennis friend, very good tennis friend. He was tennis friend. He said, if Dr. Mohan Singh is here, please send him a message that Prakash is here in the hospital. He will come running. He will come running. So and care enough, Dr. Mohan Singh came. And Dr. Mohan Singh, moment Dr. Mohan Singh came, he touched my father, and my father said, "Doctor, I'm in your hands now. I have 3 children, 3 girls behind, 3 girls to look after, doctor." And then my doctor told my mother, Prem, and they were very good friends, "Agar ye 24 घंटे survive कर गया, तो ये बच जाएंगे." I heard all this. And my father was saved by him. Look, if I'd lost my father at the age of 6, would I have been speaking to you today? Would I have been here today? No way. I owe my life, my whole family to that doctor. My father's life when I was only 6. And my mummy would have probably had 3 of us not knowing how to pay a school fee because everything was bread earner, which is daddy. So whenever I get an invitation from the doctors, however short the notice is, I know. Now, you see, all others also, millions also owe it to. Therefore, I think while you put an infrastructure in place of step 1, keep this expanding. I think I would say keep this expanding. And number 2, keep this growing. And number 3 is engage with the National Health Mission. And let's write a petition. And I've already spoken to the National Health Mission. They're waiting for your petition now. They're waiting for your memorandum from you. I've sent the email to Suchin already. I've sent the name and number. It's Dr. Oza from Puducherry because I knew him. I spoke to Dr. Oza personally. I said, "Doctor, can we do something?" He said, "Sure, send us a representation. And if you can include me as a signatory in that memorandum of association, because I also have a duty, a responsibility towards the promotion of the improvement of the systems of healthcare in India now and the years to come, so that we can keep the wolf of viruses away from our doorsteps." Thank you.